Level up your hunting game and join the cause. Help preserve small-town Texas hunting culture and become a more successful hunter by learning the best ways to squeeze the most out of your budget and precious time out in the field. Welcome to the Feed Bandit Podcast. Here are your resident bandits, Richard Kinchlow and Jimmy Byrne.
I'm actually going to take 2 protein feeders that we've got. The big all-season 600-pounder, and then the that one Trav brought to us, and I am going to take him over to one of Bob's feeders, and I'm going to do the feed test over again. We're going to do it with a real feeder, and we're going to do it in an area that's never been served protein. So I thought that would be a really cool, thing to do. So I was texting with Bob about that a couple of nights ago. So I'll try to get that cranking, maybe next weekend or something like that. So
awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, just kind of.
You shooting more deer?
You left
New Year's.
Well,
New Year's Eve New Year's.
Oh yeah. You left New Year's Eve now. I don't think so.
I know you got rained out.
Oh yeah. God, Jesus, yeah, it just poured.
Except I was leaving. I think I texted y'all when I was leaving. Yeah. I saw deer everywhere.
yeah, and ducks and everything. Yeah. No, we didn't. I was going to shoot. I was going to triangle with Chase and Abby with the intention of trying to shoot something, and of course all those hogs show up. So I didn't tell you that story yet, but oh my God! Of course, a ton of deer did show up, but it was cool. It was unbelievable. Thank God I got my gun and my pack in there. Well, I leave without a jacket, so I'm in my red jumper with my red scarf. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try. And of course, I get there, right? And we got plenty of time, but I don't have time to turn around and go get a jacket. And it's almost below freezing. The light is the sun is still up, whatever. So I'm like, man, I can't open that window, So anyway, I had a bunch of deer show up, literally like 6 or 7 does, and then a couple of bucks, and right there, I probably 30, 40 minutes before dark, I saw a lone boar way the hell out there. So I'm like, okay, here he comes. He's coming in. So the whole time I'm focused behind the feeder, out of the corner of my eye, must have been 30 of them.
Wow.
It was. I've not seen a sounder that big. So do we want to? We want to start it now?
We've been recording the whole time.
Well, yeah, I saw that. Well, I
figured we'd probably get some interesting stories.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, then good. Yeah, all right. So
stories that I can edit, of course.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, we'll put all that in there. So what was really crazy about it was that we have all these pigs come in, and of course the young ones go flying towards the feeder as usual, and they're pigging out. Right?
Well, nice one.
Yeah. And so, and of course, under the feeder is also about a foot of water too. So it's just nasty.
Ugh.
And they're slopping around. Well, so we probably got 10 under the feeder right now, and did medium-sized ones to piglets and whatnot. But they just keep streaming in from the right. Okay. Well, I got another group coming in. Well, there's a big boar with them. I would say, yeah, he was probably going to be getting close to 300. I mean, he was a big guy.
Wow.
Yeah, he was big. And so, of course, and he's got the big old razorback. I can see his teeth at 80 yards, so I know he's a big guy. And well, of course, he stops and he starts staring right at me. Of course, and so at this point, Abby's in my lap. Okay, my daughter's in my lap because this is it. This is it. I mean, if you follow the program, we've waited a year and a half to find the damn pig. It just, and so this year we've killed 50, 60 of them. It's been great, but kids just hadn't have an opportunity. Well, here's our opportunity. This is it. It's here. Well, and this big boar just stops, and he's staring at the feeder, looking at all the pigs. And I swear to God, you like I've seen out of a movie. He kind of turns to his left. Kid you not, turns to his left and is staring up there at us. Like
how far away?
He's inside 75 yards.
Okay.
He's staring up their ass, and the wind's blowing over his back to me in my face.
Wow.
So I know he can't smell us. I mean, talk about the sixth sense.
Oh yeah. Well, he's smart.
It was
grew to be 300 pounds. I guess.
Oh, unbelievable! So he backs out. He doesn't run off, but he backs out. So I'm thinking, gee willikers, I'm angry, because I thought that he was going to do some sort of, hog, my God, get the hell out of here sign, and we're done. It's over. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, he didn't. And so he backed out. And so I get Abby on my lap, okay? And we got the rifle up, and it's cold, okay? So she's already shaking a little bit, but the adrenaline's starting to flow, of course. You know me. My adrenaline's starting to flow. God. Here we go. I mean, we could shake martinis in this damn blind when it was all said and done. So but at this point, we just have a mass of pork underneath the feeder. I mean, there's probably 15 of them under the feeder at this time, and they're slopping around. I mean, the sound effects it would make you gag. It's like running a spoon through a hot casserole. And I will tell you what. They say humans can be terrible parents. Well, the sows, female hogs can be terrible parents too. We actually, and of course, Abby's like, "Oh no, poor piglet." I'm like, "Yeah, poor piglet. You're about to put a 260 through his head." We saw a piglet get flipped up in the air, squealing and all by a boar that she got too close to. It's hysterical. So we got the gun out, and we're going through our progression. We're going through our steps, trying to work on our breathing and whatnot. And the blind was actually positioned perfectly well. Not the blind, but the inside this blind, we've got some shelves, So my daughter's on my lap. She's got her left hand on the barrel of the gun. She's got her right shoulder up against on one of the windowsills, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I love that.
That right arm, you got to keep that right arm straight. So she had it braced. It was real good.
Although I thought that was your left arm. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Look at the canal. You can see it. Anyway, the canal, more like a creek. So we're getting ready. Safety's still on, and here come more pigs. And more pigs and more pigs. So when it was all said and done, probably had 25 to 30 of them down there.
Wow.
It's been a long time since I've seen a sounder that big. Now, that is the same sounder that our good buddy Tyson shot at. They remember they back. Wasted a whole clip on him. Sorry, pal. You wasted a lot of bullets on him. And I mean, who knows if I didn't see any were wounded. They were sure running fine. So,
but that was the night before, right? Or no, that wasn't the night before. That was like a week before, so 2 weeks before.
No, it was well before. Oh yeah, no, you're right.
It wasn't that long. Yeah, okay.
It wasn't that long ago. Same blind too, so they came right back. And of course they came from the northeast. They're bed up there in that thick, nasty cedar humanity that nobody wants to go into. So this is it. This is the moment of the truth. This is what we've been practicing for, and kind of back up. Abby had taken a couple of shots. We had made good use of our time at Rancho Bandito, after Christmas, doing some shooting. She was great. We started her out with the 22 mag again, just to get her back used to shooting. Then we put her on the 260. Little did she know that was not the 204, but now she's shooting the 260. She's good to go. So this is it. This is the moment of truth. All she's got to do is line one up and pull the trigger, and she started getting them and she had them. And then she just got really emotional. And I knew she was tired, okay, just from the whole week of, partying as a kid, right? Staying up late, getting up early with her friends, but she couldn't do it. And that's a moment as a parent of a young hunter, especially an emotional one, a female. Not to say that young males don't get emotional too, okay? Oh, right? But in this case, and Abby, she couldn't do it. So that was a real good opportunity for me to say, hey, listen, baby, proud of you. You tried it. The great thing about pigs is they reproduce like rabbits constantly. They have really no natural predators except for tires themselves and bullets.
And bullets,
so, yeah. And the occasional cougar to a potty. So I said, don't worry about it, And so her buddy Chase is in the blind with us as well. So Chase has definitely had some shooting experience. I don't think he's not shot as much as Abby, but he's but he's definitely done some shooting. So what's crazy about Chase is that Chase, when he gets up there and he mounts the rifle, he tries to move his left eye over to look at the scope. And so I knew this because when we were kind of working on him to teach him to shoot, that's what he was doing.
Huh.
I kept saying, I'm like, Chase, okay, pal, we got to do this. Shut the left eye, use your right eye, because I was talking to his father. And his father was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right eye dominant, But he was struggling to do it. So instead of making the event, the shooting event, not so much fun, we just said, yeah, just let him shoot, whatever. So funny enough, Chase goes, yeah, I'll take a shot. He's like Dennis the Menace,
Yeah.
In his back pocket. He's like, yeah, I'll take a shot. I'm like, ah, boy, get up here, So he's in my lap, one of the jokes that not. Why don't you hop up in Uncle Rabbit's lap? Well, that's not a good time, Thorny. so he hops up there in my lap, and we go through the same progressions. Okay, here's what you gotta do. And of course, he's trying to get the typical kid problem, trying to get that eye relief. Well, he gets it, and he's calm as a cucumber. He doesn't even realize. He doesn't realize that he's got a it's not a 260. It's not a deal breaker rifle. It's not going to break his shoulder. But he's never shot anything like that before. But the kid's fearless. He gets up there and says, "Okay, Chase, buddy, it's going to be really tough, but I want you to try to pick out a pig and shoot him right behind the shoulder." And of course, he's like, "Mike, they're everywhere," and it's right, they were everywhere. And what to make it even more difficult, the sun was going down. So he was down the sun. The other thing that he was dealing with was all the pigs were the same color. So how in God's green earth he did what he did is really, it's just kind of amazing. So I'm like, all right, pal, whenever you're ready. And safety was off, and he squeezed the trigger. I watched him. He used his right eye. I don't think he realized it, but he used his right eye. And boy, when that bullet let loose, it was he was squealing. I'm like, all right. But of course, I couldn't tell if he hit anything because there's hogs and blood and water going everywhere, and the sun's there. You got to realize you got 15, 20 animals under a feeder, and you've just shot into them. You don't know what's going to be left. Sure as hell. When all the chaos had dispensed, there it was. Deader than a doornail, did not move an inch. He nailed a good, call it 50 to 60, 75-pound sow.
Nice.
Unbelievable. So, of course, Abby's bawling in the background, not out of jealousy, but out of sheer happiness, and to change it, when Abby was on the gun, Chase was like, hey, you can do this. And it wasn't like a hey, you can do it, chicken. You legit, this was they're 9-year-olds, so you can't expect them to whatever, but man, they stepped up for each other. It was amazing. Just another sign of good friendship, and anyway. And so, boy, we went crazy. We're hugging and high-fiving, and he chases like, I did it! Like, yeah, do it. And I knew he could, but and so, after kind of the dust settled, and I'm sitting there looking at the animal, I got this wave of nausea that came over me. And I thought to myself, oh my God, what have I done? And I literally just kind of like, they were going crazy and hugging and yelling and screaming and reliving the story. And I was thinking to myself, dude, I just guided this kid out to shoot out to shoot an animal. And he did. And he killed it, and his dad wasn't there,
Yeah.
Because, Chase didn't have, it wasn't Chase's intention to go out there and shoot a hog, But I gave him the opportunity, and such is my thirst for youth hunting that I couldn't pass it up. And so, the second I text everybody, everybody's ecstatic. We get back to the cleaning station. And I approached his father, who's a very dear friend of ours. I'm like, dude, I am so sorry. and I legitimately still am, because that's that's a thing I took away. And of course he was incredibly gracious and said, listen, if he wasn't going to be with me, I want him to be with you, which of course means means a lot to me too. Yeah. But boy, that is the story of old Chasesaurus Rex getting his first big game animal. So
that's awesome. Congratulations, Chase.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna have him on the program.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah. Well, and his dad can always guide him to his first deer. So
that's true.
There's still
as long as
Turkey,
as long as Ivory Coast isn't playing Sudan or those football games. So
right.
Anyway, but it was it was just a really, really, really cool experience. Now, I obviously don't have any boys, so the males in my group, the children, that is, I hold them to a higher degree because they're males, and obviously they're nowhere near as good or as smart or everything as the girls naturally, and it's because they're males. But I sure love to see when the little boys do some good. So
that's great.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I look forward to hearing the interview with Chase.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because it's fun to hear from their perspective.
Yep. Yep. Oh, I tell you, we have time. I'd like to share another.
Yeah.
Another little tip I learned. Interesting thing. So we have one of our on Rancho Bandito, one of our most productive blinds that we have is called a 20-foot tower stand, if you will, kind of on the hill that overlooks a lot of feeding areas. Okay, so it's also a good transition area from bedding cover to the feeding grounds. Leads to a wheat field. Feeders near there, but there's no feeder there. And I think that's really important because a lot of folks in Texas think, wow, you got to have a deer feeder to make a good hunting spot. Well, Death Road, as we call it, because it's the name is very fitting.
Yes.
Is definitely, it proves you don't have to have it. So one of the things that we do is we will corn the roads. Okay, so
prime it, if you will.
What?
Prime it, if you will.
Right. Yes, that's right. We'll prime it, get it ready to roll, and so we'll take a bag of doe corn. Of course, one of our good friends, Matt, he'll say, "Well, wait a minute, wait a minute. If we only put doe corn out, we're only going to shoot does." And then that's when I curl my lip at him and like, "You're an idiot. How have you gone this long on this earth?" So on and so forth. But we'll take the corn and we'll sit there and we'll dump it out. So what's called, again, corning the row. So something that I found very interesting is this one area behind the blind. It's a mowed strip. Okay. So we have our ranch hand mows a strip there in October. And we'll again, like I say, we'll corn it. So that particular night, a lot of the deer actually came from the it would be the southeast side of the area.
From that kind of where the corner where the
yeah.
Yep,
kind of from the caliche pit type area.
Yep.
And it was fascinating to me because when I was actually turned facing that way. I don't have told you that. So what was fascinating to me is, and the other thing is, it was a north wind. It was howling. Okay, it was a hell of a north wind. So it was funny to me that the deer just started approaching out of the kind of the tree line, and we're coming into that corn. And it's something that I've I've never really, I guess, put a lot of thought to, but that was clear evidence to me that those deer were attracted by the scent of all of that corn. Whereas I don't know that you can really say that with like a traditional deer feeder. It's more like the sound, and just that being routine. But I think that that's proof, at least it is in my mind, that you can get out there and corn an area, like public hunting. On some public hunting grounds, you can corn. Or, if you're hunting a sendero or, an open something or another, you can throw out corn, and that within couple hours, you can have deer all over it. So it just never, I guess I just always assumed in the back of my mind that, the reason why the deer are eating the corn is because they were traveling through and they just happened upon it.
Right.
And so that, and I think that's a lot of the times what happens, but you could definitely tell that this case, those deer were going to the scent of that corn. Cause I'll tell you this much, the way that wind was howling, they were very spooky, very, very spooky. As we all know, the wind, when the conditions aren't perfect, they're going to be on their guard. That wind, especially their smell. The wind, in my opinion, will screw you more than the heat, more than the sun, any of the other kind of factors that you got out there, because the wind is their primary defense. And when you have the wind swirling, it's going crazy like that. It's really to your advantage and a disadvantage for the deer.
Yeah, and that wind, I guess with the trees moving and making a lot of noise, and it probably just throws off all sorts of senses. I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting observation.
Yeah. And I've been wanting to kind of share the story now for a while. So yeah, it was.
Well, I wonder what the folks listening think about that. If they've had similar, observations or, situations where they can really chalk it up to the corn being the main factor, the smell of the corn, I guess. Fresh corn, I guess being a main factor in, deer coming in or not.
Well, and actually, I didn't think about this till right now when we were interviewing the owner of Orange Corn Company.
Yeah, I mean that's
remember he was telling his story about how they kind of came up with the idea. They had that little just random orange grove there in South Texas, and how the deer were bypassing the corn and went right to like the orange grove. No. That wasn't an orange grove. That was. No, they were eating some oranges, I think.
Yeah.
In the blind, they just threw them out there.
And the deer went to those.
The deer were all over them, yeah.
Yeah, to the rinds and all that stuff.
Yep, there you go. Exactly. So.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, no, it really was.
So, food for thought there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else throw anything else out that they swear that deer will come to? I would love to hear it. I mean, of course, there's all sorts of products, out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But anything, I'd be curious to hear anything kind of unconventional.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
If anyone has anything like that, let us know.
Absolutely.
Howdy at feedbandit.com.
Yep.
I'd love to hear that.
Yep.
It's always kind of cool to hear new and innovative ways people go about doing things.
No, I agree.
But then again, you throwing out corn, that's just, nothing new about that.
Right. One thing I've always wanted to do, and I just hadn't gotten around to doing it, is I want to, I might Google it tonight while I'm laying in my bed before my 8 o'clock bedtime.
Or past that. You're past your bedtime.
Oh my God, this is bad news. One of the things I'd like to look at, and I'm sure there's some law about it, is what do the produce managers do with all the old produce that they don't eat?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I'm sure there is some law where after said apple is blah blah blah. They gotta whatever. But I would like. Wow, what was for dinner tonight?
Royal China.
Oof. Did you eat the egg rolls?
Well, no, we got some pork dumplings to share, and then I had pork lo mein.
You didn't get any egg rolls?
No.
Wow. Do you have a gun handy? I mean, that is the dumbest thing you have ever done.
The dumplings are quite amazing.
Yeah, well, yeah, the egg rolls, dude. I mean, I would never divorce my wife, but maybe for one of those egg rolls. She just kept like recreating herself, and I could just keep eating her. I mean, fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, but other than that, really the week after Christmas traditionally, obviously, is a big bloody week for us. But with the damn controvirus and all the other crap that's going on, that's made our freaking lives. I said freaking lives so difficult. We hadn't to be able to have the people down there, but now we still shot some ducks. The duck hunting was pretty terrible, actually. I'll touch on that for the people who duck hunt and follow us. I guess we went down there on the 27th. Okay, and so they say typically the best duck hunting is 1 to 2 days before a big front arrives. Okay, because the birds are and same thing with dove hunting. The birds are in front of the front. Okay, and so that's always something to keep a lookout for, and I always do. Well, of course, the other thing is it's getting late in the season. Okay, and there's still birds that are probably coming down. Maybe not so much coming from Canada or Wyoming or Montana or something like that, but coming down from Lubbock. Coming down. So we're still getting some of those Texas migratory birds, probably Oklahoma too, whatever. So we had the significant front, okay, that came through on New Year's Eve night. Chalking the chance of snow, So I got 2 mornings, okay. And so I guess the 29th and the 30th and the 31st, thinking that I'd be able to make pillows with all the freaking duck feathers that I would have. Didn't even have a duck fly near me. And let me tell you. Oh, and the other thing is I had some new duck gear out there. Okay, Santa Claus brought me, I think it's called the butt dougler or something like that. It's a decoy that's made by Lucky Dog. I'm gonna do a review on it because I freaking love it. It hasn't worked yet, but I love it. They say that the wing decoys, okay, like the mojos and whatnot, the birds are getting spooky to them, especially late season birds. Say don't put your mojos out there or your propeller things late in the season. Which this weekend when I go, I'm not doing it. But the jury's still out when it comes to the other decoys that sit in the water and move around. I don't think they'll ever get weary of those because it's kind of more natural, other than compared to the freestanding solid motion duck spinning thing. But anyways, I had all this new duck gear out there ready to rock and roll and nothing. And it was absolutely demoralizing. I could still to this day cannot figure it out. We had ducks in some other tanks. I just figured that we would have some birds, and we didn't have it. And it's not as though we've had so much rain that all the tanks on the adjacent properties are just overflow with water. Mm-hmm. It was a real letdown. Now I will tell you this, and this is something I've been thinking about long and hard. I always tell everybody that you got a full moon, the migratory birds, they'll fly all night. I've actually, it's just so cool. A couple years ago, I actually saw, it was like a Texas Parks and Wildlife. I actually saw ducks in the moonlight. Wow. We were at Rancho Bandito. I drank a lot of whiskey. Promise you I saw it, though. looked up there in this huge full moon, and I could see the ducks, and then they just kept going. It was hysterical. And so we had a full moon for that entire week. So I think that there is a high probability that with that front, they just said, "We're out of here," and just kept going south.
Yeah. So the ducks and the moon, that wasn't like a whiskey hallucination or anything.
No, it was really cool. In fact, and this is me because I'm psycho. They were pintails too, because I could hear them whistling. And of course, the next morning, I'm like, "Here we go, baby, pintails!" Woo! And I didn't think I got up because I was too hungover. But it was fun, you know. And of course, when I did get up, like 8:30, I'm like, "I'm seeing pintails."
Right. Well, don't give up on that new decoy. I mean, decoys can't call birds that aren't there, I guess, right? So,
seriously. You should, I mean, this thing is fantastic. And I'm gonna do a review on, but what I love about it is that this decoy, you know, with this decoy, it makes so much movement. Okay, that it moves your other decoys around.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You know, at Rancho Bandito, we are, you know, blessed and cursed not to have a lot of wind. Okay, and so smart ducks are gonna look down like, "Dude, really? It's not falling for that crap." So with this decoy, it moves them and gets a little bit of emotion going. So, you know, this hunt we'll be doing this weekend was it third weekend of January, second weekend of January, something like that.
Second.
Yeah. Second. Okay, so I'm gonna go with a smaller decoy spread, probably 6 decoys. And I'm gonna.
No, it'd be the third weekend. Sorry, yeah.
Third weekend. Okay. And I'm gonna put the butt juggler out there.
Butt juggler.
I don't think that's the right name, but
sorry for butchering the name.
Yeah. No,
get it right on the next one.
Yeah, it's Lucky Duck something. Okay. But yeah, we'll throw it out there and we'll see how we do. Awesome. So if you've followed the program, you'll hear me. You'll hear me ask my dad for the duck report. So he's down there right now. And I said, "Hey, Dad, how are the ducks?" He goes, "Yeah, there's some on there." I'm like, "Hey, we'll quantify how many is some." He's like, "Oh, I think like 50." I'm like, "That's great. Where are they?" "Down there on the south end." Okay. I mean, I'm like, "You don't help me here." You know, I'm like, "What are they?" He goes, they're ducks. I'm like, "Okay, all right, we're done." You know, just don't. I can't.
Well, the final text would be, "Oh, but they won't be here when you're here anyway, so it doesn't matter."
That's right. Yeah, because I just shot my AR into them. Yeah. So yeah, we got 3 more weeks to go, and then that's a wrap. Duck season is over. But you know, it's every year we always talk about it sucks, especially this year. I mean, this year was kind of just such a needed release, and you know, unfortunately, because of the whole COVID thing, we couldn't go down to Rancho Bandito as much as we wanted to. But when we did go, I think we all made the best times out of it. You know, we had a great time. But admittedly, I'm looking forward to the off season. You know, it's again, here it is, almost third weekend of January. We've got our protein feeders going. We've got our cottonseed going, and you know, the corn feeders are still going. So that's crucial. You know, if you're starting a new protein feeding supplemental feeding program for deer, you need to pause us right now and go out there and get you the gear that you need and get the supplemental feed going, because this is the time they need it for sure. You know, talking to my father, we had over 5 inches of snow. You know, the hill country got a lot of snow. Of course, Dallas didn't. And
well, it did, but it just didn't stick. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, what they got real. I mean, like real snow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But and I'll tell you, I mean, you can never predict when these things are going to happen. But you know, that feed out there was definitely helped. You know, the cottonseed baskets got destroyed by the whitetails and the antelope because they're cold. You know, and then again, these bucks that are post rut, you know, they don't need any help dying. You know,
right.
So get out there, give them what you need. Let's help get them through January and February and then into the warmer months.
So while you were talking, I looked up. You know, we have a couple articles about this stuff. So, you know, there's the basics of using deer feed article that we wrote a while back. You know, folks can find that at feedbandit.com/basics. Feed Basics.
Yep.
All words. So I'll take you right there. And then we did a more in-depth kind of like a part 2 article, I guess you could say.
Yep.
And that one I'm trying to find. But it's in there. Like if you go to the blog, you can find it. I don't know. I guess I never made a quick link to that. I probably need to do that. Put it in the show.
That's it's good stuff. Those articles are timeless. They're not changing. And we follow the same regiment that we do all the time when it comes to this sort of thing. So, and we're definitely reaping results. Another thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be hiring a mulching company. So there's on the front of the Bobcat type emails, Jesus. On top of the Bobcat type vehicles, they have what's called a forestry mulcher, and it's basically, it looks like Baraka off of Mortal Kombat 2, I think, with the big swords, and I don't think the lust for tournament fighting or blood, but it's just as destructive. And it basically goes in there and just obliterates cedars and whatnot. So I'm going to try to get some good footage of that. We're going to be doing that in February, but what our goal is, we've got so much regrowth cedar that it's taking over a lot of important prime feeding habitat. Okay. And the balance is getting out of whack. Okay. We've always had more bedding cover than we've had feeding cover, and that's okay, because there's not a lot we can do about that. But, we need to restore that, and it's going to help our carrying capacity, whatnot. It's also going to open up more opportunities, when we're out, driving around and looking for animals. So definitely going to be doing a lot more land management projects on Rancho Bandito this year. So I will definitely take some videos, and we can talk about that here in February.
So that'll be good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I found the other article while you were talking,
and
not that I wasn't listening to you. Of course, I was.
Of course.
Multitasking.
But
essentially the part 2 is if you go to feedbandit.com/supplement, that'll take you to the deeper, more in-depth article.
Sure.
So basically, you can start with at feedbandit.com/feedbasics just to get some basics of what to do when feeding deer, that type of thing. And then if you go to feedbandit.com/supplement, that takes you to the Hunter's Guide to Supplemental Feeding, and that's your pretty in-depth article about everything, essentially what you do down at Rancho Bandito. So it's really kind of all folks need to get started if they're not doing it already, or to help maybe modify what they're doing, or or whatnot. So it's at least check it out.
I was doing some searching for all deer protein feeders, and sure enough, on Google, we're there in the top couple of pieces. Some of the articles and stuff that we've written. Very, very cool.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, I'd like
that
to
just goes to show folks that you should be checking out our blog. I mean, we're not doing it every day, but when we put stuff out there, I'd like to think that it's helpful. It's
and again, we're blessed to be able to go to Rancho Bandito almost anytime we want to, and I think it's because it's kind of our duty to try to document the stuff that really works for us and talk about products that work for us, and that make a difference. So that's why we love what we do.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else other than to say that I was lucky enough to shoot a doe over the Heaven Week. So
Which
I ate that heart yesterday for lunch. So
did you? Nice.
I did.
That's really coming on, man. I mean, people are. I just thought you were a savage, but that's.
Well, I am, but
I know.
I'm a sophisticated savage.
Don't sell yourself short, Judge. You're a tremendous savage. Slouch. Where did you shoot that doe? Why can I not forget?
West Pins.
Oh, of course.
remember, I was like, not long after I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I had, let's just say I had other options still after.
Oh yeah. See, dude, I mean, you were probably, that is one by far most prolific blind.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
There's a Grand Central Station there, and we've killed like 4 or 5 deer there.
Yep.
We did not do the numbers. I'm glad that we're not on the old MLDP system where we would get penalized, which I don't even know if they ever enforced that penalization. But yeah.
I'll leave that emphasis to the folks to listen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know that if you speed and get caught, you will be subject to penalties in the penal system. So anyway, penalties. Yeah. Anyways, gonna be another fun year. Hopefully, the world won't collapse like some of our friends are predicting.
Right.
And but again,
it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
All I would do is throw out to people listening that I'm pretty sure probably a lot of folks listening to us have more or less similar views on stuff going on.
I would think so.
I think all I would say is an appeal to folks to start thinking more locally than nationally. You know, how to, I don't know, make our lives better. See, I've noticed I'm tiptoeing around a little bit, but think locally, forget national, because nothing good will come from doing any wasting time nationally.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of along the theme of what we do at Feed Bandit here too. You know, it's supporting the small town and the businesses that help us out and everything. And I think we should consider extending that to also, you know, whatever kind of if some of us decide to take or do political things or take political action, you know, whatever. Yeah, we can have more effect locally.
Agreed.
Agreed. You know, I don't know. Food for thought for folks out there. You know, just don't waste your time.
Yep. I tell you, if it does hit the fan, though, I am going to become Gandalf. I already decided.
Gandalf, yeah,
the wizard. We'll see.
All right. Now the gray.
I told
the white.
Oh, the gray, of course. And it's really funny because the white's very offensive. It's really funny because like Julie sees me looking at, my wife sees me looking at these YouTube videos. And the other day I was getting up to go pee and I was looking at her. I'm like, you know, I think I want to be a wizard. And you know what she said to me with those sympathetic eyes? She goes, God, I love you. Yeah, I was in one of my little trances, like, I really don't want to be in this lifetime. I would love to be in Middle Earth. So, yeah, we got to ask our buddy Illini. He loves that movie.
Well, you know, if you practice hard enough, maybe you could get there.
Yes. Oh, you know how many times I've Googled wizard? And, of course, they'll come up with the grand wizard. Like, no, not that one. I'm like, were there wizards in the Dark Age? Click. And, the answers I get at Google is like, no, you're a dork.
Yes, they lived with unicorns and,
that's right.
And dragons.
On Care Bear Mountain. Diamond Forest. Yeah. All right. Well, it's past my bedtime.
Yeah, I think folks are probably getting tired of us. So with that, everybody, have a good one.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Feed Bandit Podcast. If you like what we discuss on the show, be sure to sign up to our email list to get even more killer hunting ideas, tips, tricks, and exclusive deals on innovative hunting gear and services delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up over at feedbandit.com or simply by texting the word bandit to 33777. See you on the next one. And remember, support your local feed store.